Welcome to the Bothell City Council regular meeting of September 5th, 2017. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All council members are here. Meeting agenda approval. Before I go into that, I wanted to take the opportunity to have a point of personal privilege. I haven't done this before as the mayor, but I have some written comments here. During our August break, Councilmember Freed publicly communicated false information about the Bothell City Council, our city, and me as your mayor. In my opinion, he violated our city council protocol manual. The most important message the community should hear is that there is no threat of a safe drug injection site coming to Bothell. I want the council to be aware that an email from Initiative 27, the initiative to ban safe injection sites, was sent to all elected officials in King County. It was signed by Councilmember Freed, who is also a large financial supporter of the initiative. In the email it stated, which was also reprinted by the Everett Herald, and I want to quote, "I want to thank the cities of," and I'm going to leave them blank because I'm not sure they're accurate, for banning heroin injection sites, as well as Bothell, who is planning to ban them next month. That's the end of the quote. The Bothell City Council has not given any position on safe drug injection sites nor discussed banning them. It is against the protocol manual for any council member to speak on behalf of the council about matters not discussed by council. Bothell voters received a robocall at home stating that I, the mayor, not only support safe drug injection sites, but would like one in Bothell. I want everyone to know I am opposed to a safe drug injection site in our city. I found out that people in other cities receive similar messages about their mayor and council wanting safe drug injection sites in their community. Last, I contacted King County Councilmember Rod Dembowski. He informed me King County's budget has specific language about funding safe injection sites. King County can't spend money on siting a safe injection site within a city unless a city council votes to accept the site first. Rod also told me the county has no interest in siting a safe drug injection site in Bothell. To double check, I did have the city attorney look into the ordinance from King County. And city attorney, you ready to?
Yes. So this is ordinance number 18544, and the relevant portion is on page 21, lines 466 through 472, which read in relevant portion, expenditure restriction. Of this appropriation, no funds shall be expended or encumbered to establish, except in any city which chooses to establish such a location by vote of its elected governing body, and any community health engagement locations as described in the Heroin and Opiate Addiction Task Force final report and recommendations dated September 15th, presented by the Heroin and Opiate Addiction Task Force to the King County executives and mayors of the cities of Auburn, Renton, and Seattle. And so my understanding of that language, which is underlined in my copy, is that the council would have to, by a majority of at least 4, choose to cite the safe injection site in the city of Bothell before King County could act. King County does not have fiat power to simply place it in Bothell without Bothell's permission.
Okay, thank you. So
I'd like to have an opportunity to respond.
I'm not done.
Well, when you're
This
done,
item
I'll
is
like my
currently,
personal
this
time as well.
item is currently on our projected agenda, but is not scheduled for a meeting. During the projected agenda portion of the meeting, I would entertain a motion to add banning heroin injection sites to a date certain. Without a date certain established by council, this item will not be on the agenda until 2018 at the earliest. And City Manager, did you have something you wanted to add to that?
The agenda is prepared based on staff, upon the council goals and my management of the staff's time, and it's connected to the council's goals. So the council has provided a direct, very specific goals for us to work on, and we have the projected agenda. We've been balancing for this 2017 year council's priorities, and so when it was asked of me in July by Councilmember Freed if this could be put on, or was asked of the council if this could be put on a future agenda, I followed the protocol, which is there was basically quiet consensus. I didn't hear an objection, and so it was placed on the projected agenda for review, and the protocol says the city manager and the mayor then review the projected agenda and determine which items come forward. And so I did not, based on no direction, I did not put staff, any kind of staff work towards this, any kind of staff work was done on this. And so it is not on the 5th, as you can see, and it is not, we've initiated no work. And so it's really, council would have to indicate to me that this is a priority, and I would have to shift out staff's work and basically assign a staff member to do the research, including the city attorney, to bring this item forward before council. And at this time, I don't have plans for the next couple of months to do that, nor the staff capacity, unless council removes something else and gives me direction to do this. So I would look to council for direction to bring this item forward, as the mayor said, at a date certain, so that I can prepare the work.
Okay, thank you. So meeting agenda approval. Is there any changes to tonight's meeting agenda?
Yes. I'd like to have my personal privilege now, just to answer what you said. I appreciate the mayor bringing this up. I think it's an important discussion for all of us to have. I absolutely did send an email, a letter regarding I-27 to every city in King County, every council member, every mayor, besides this council as a whole, because we have something called the Open Public Meetings Act. I could not send letters to each council member here. This council had already taken a position at the last council meeting that we were together. I requested that we put a ban on heroin injection sites on our agenda. The mayor, you did say that we would put it on. I was dismayed after I heard that it wasn't on September, because I had expected it to be, and it wasn't. So I did contact via email the mayor, Councilmember Samberg, and the city manager, requesting that it be put up. City manager did say that we have a very busy agenda, which I can certainly appreciate. I wrote back the whole gamut of people again saying it's really important, I'd like to get it on, because there are a lot of cities that are currently moving forward putting bans. Already Federal Way has done so, Renton, Kent, Bellevue, Des Moines, Normandy Park are considering it. Issaquah has considered it, or saying they're going to consider it. Sammamish is going to consider it. A lot of cities in King County don't see that they want to have heroin injection sites in their community. The response that I got from the mayor was disconcerting, because he says, as long as I am on council, this conversation will not come forward to the council as a whole. The mayor does not have that power. When the council decides that they want to discuss something, we can discuss it. And what I heard at the last council meeting is that it was going to be put on the agenda. So disappointed with that. I think there's an opportunity to move forward. These are not positive for our community, and like to see that we would have a ban. The city attorney, I do disagree with one of the things that has come forward, and that is injection sites. I-27 is currently being sued because they consider injection sites as a essential public service. That means whether a city decides to do so or not, the county can have the power to put an injection site within the city limits. So if they consider it a public health issue, an essential public service, they can put it in the city of Bothell, whether we vote for it or not. So that is a concern. I think we need, as a city, as a whole, to send a very clear message that we are against heroin injection sites. They cause great damage. I've visited heroin injection sites up in Canada. I've seen that it draws, in the one block around there, 5,000 users that are in that 5-block radius. I've seen people, as I walked to the front door, in just a few hundred feet, 5 people shooting up on the sidewalk in front of Insight. I talked to users on the street. I've gone up there. I've sat with people on the street. These people's lives are broken, and I don't want to see our county spend money on injection sites that are going to steal money from healthcare to make sure that we're getting people in true treatment, on-demand treatment. We don't have on-demand treatment. That means if you're a heroin user or somebody addicted to cocaine, you make the decision today to go get help, you can't get it. And I think that's a failure of our county. And to set up a site where people continue to move forward toward really slow suicide or sometimes quick suicide is not something as we as a society should stand for. So yeah, I am for discussing this. I would like to discuss it earlier than later. A lot of cities are. I think this should be a priority of our city and send a message to all the voters within King County. In regards to a robocall, I did not make the robocall. I did not write the script. I did not call it to go out. I did not pay for it. It was not associated with I-27. We have a lot of people in support of I-27. And I can tell you we have the Redmond neighborhood group. We have Safe Seattle, a group from downtown Seattle. We have Save Our Streets. We have Neighborhood Safety Alliance. What I've found is a lot of people in downtown Seattle and outside are supporting, and they're not Republicans, they're not Democrats. They are people from all walks of life and all considerations regard to the party affiliation. All that aside, I hope that the council can discuss this quicker, sooner rather than later, because I think it's important to our city and certainly to our voters to understand. So thanks for the opportunity.
All right, is there any changes to tonight's meeting agenda? Councilmember Spivey?
Yeah, I'd like to have a brief discussion about park mitigation fees.
Do you have a preference on when we have that discussion?
You know, I guess earlier rather than later, just because it looks like our agenda goes fairly late.
Is it something that will influence something else on our agenda?
What's that?
Is it something that will influence your decision on something else on our agenda?
No, it won't influence my decision on something else on the agenda, no.
So,
Mr. Mayor,
yep.
if we're going to add things
thought it was
tonight,
the mayor.
can we put them at the end of the agenda in respect for the people that are here for the items that have been previously noticed?
Good point. Okay, so we're going to put it at the end of the agenda?
Okay.
Any other changes to tonight's agenda?
Yeah, I've got a question. Mayor, you did say, do I have this floor?
Yeah, do you have a change for tonight's agenda?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I would like to actually add heroin injection site discussion to the end of this agenda tonight.
All right. Does everybody feel like having that discussion tonight? Okay, let's take it to a vote then. Is everybody okay with the parking mitigation fees? Are we treating everybody fairly?
Can we establish maybe some time limits for the discussion? So knowing that if we're going to talk about park impact fees or park mitigation fees or heroin injection sites, we set a time limit for ourselves and then plan it for a future agenda for more thorough discussion.
Yeah, that's next on the agenda.
So I'm just thinking that, you know, if we tell, if Councilmember Spivey thinks a brief discussion on park mitigation fees is 15 minutes, let's set 15 minutes. And if Councilmember Freed thinks that 15 minutes is appropriate time for heroin injection sites, we allot 15 minutes, and then we endeavor to stay to that because we do have a long agenda tonight. And then, so I would be in favor in adding them both, knowing what that time limit is.
Okay, so let's take a vote of the council. If you would like to have a discussion on park mitigation fees or impact fees? Is mitigation?
Mitigation.
If you would like to have a vote on park impact fees, please raise your hand and say aye. Aye. Okay. Raise your hand and say aye if you want to talk about safe injection sites tonight.
Aye.
3. Okay, so it fails. Okay, so any other changes to tonight's meeting agenda? Seeing none, we're going to go into executive session pursuant to RCW 4230-110-1I for potential litigation, and will be 15 minutes, and so that'll bring us back at 6:30.